Are you liberal or are you moderately liberal?
Well, in terms of like the 1960s liberal, like Ted Kennedy and stuff, I'm liberal. I believe in the safety net. I believe in unemployment insurance and food programs and Medicare and, that poor people should get civil rights. And they should there should be a safety net and they should have health insurance. And I wish that Bernie's idea that everyone who should go to college could go to college. Most of the nations that are like us allow for people to go to college and not have to carry a lot of debt. Now, part of all that is partially because when I went to school, it wasn't that expensive. My mom kept my yearbook from Vanderbilt, and I was amazed at how inexpensive it was to go to, a private school that at the time I thought was very expensive. But now it can be $30,000 for someone to go to school. And Vanderbilt was, back when I went in the 70s, it is less expensive than the tiniest state school in Oklahoma. So it was, my room board and all of the fancy stuff at Vanderbilt, that was expensive, was like $2,000.
What year was that? What time was it?
77 through 81. And my husband, who went to Northwestern in Alva, he got a full scholarship to go there, and it paid for everything, and it was like $250 a semester. Mm-hmm. And now it is very expensive. Now, what has changed partially is that it used to be that for state schools, the state paid about 78% of it, and it has dwindled way down. So now, people who go to college have horrible debt when they get out. So, Bernie wasn't able to do it. I don't know how the nation would afford it, but when I got out of law school, I had no debt because my dad paid for it. So I guess, I wanted everyone to have my dad. And I think Bernie wanted everyone to have my dad. So that is the traditional liberal. I'm probably still very liberal. That said, there could be something weird happen. But, I'm more moderate. And the other thing is, just because I would, that's not the job.
Exactly.
But part of the job is to try to have city employees and the elected officials remember that we're doing a service and the people are paying our bills, and that we should try to always use our better angels, what Abraham Lincoln would say. What is disappointing now is I think that our nation worked better when there were Democrats that were conservative and that were liberal, and the Republicans that were conservative and liberal, because they all got along. And I'm very glad that our elections are nonpartisan. In a small town, people should be able to go in and talk to, the city employees and their elected officials, and we are all serving. You too are doing a service for the community as a whole.
So, how would you respond about, I would say, local, federal, state, tribunal government throughout the United States now? As you said, back in the day, there were two wings to each party, but now it's more like everybody's liberal here or everybody's...
One of the things that was interesting, when LBJ and Kennedy and some of the most conservative senators and stuff would, at the end of the day, they would go out and have a beer, or it was probably bourbon, had a bourbon with people on the other side.
Yes.
There were famous senators that would cross lines and get stuff done. And Ted Kennedy was good at that. And there were Republicans on the same side. John McCain also did that. I wish there was a little more crossing together. We don't have that problem here. We really are pretty good. Everybody talks to each other and stuff. And I actually think that's really important for the lowest part of government. Most people never meet even their state senator, much less their United States senator or the president and stuff. So what they will think of government is what they will see when they walk into City Hall. And I try to remember that. And I probably sometimes my staff thinks I give a lot more time and attention to just the people that walk in. But that's my favorite part, because you can really help them. And some of our problems we have been working on for a very long time, and they're never going to be okay. And somebody can walk in and they're a little nervous, and I can make them not nervous, and then I can take them to the right department, and in 20 minutes, I've done something good. So at the end of the day, I can say, well, I didn't solve that problem that has been going on for 50 years, but at least I helped, Sarah or something.